big story is Van Dijk, isn't it?
Listen, the opposition tonight didn't give him too many problems, to be honest. But we saw what he can do in the opposition penalty box with a goal. He actually should have scored earlier from a similar situation. But fantastic debut, as I said, all downhill from.
So is it just not scoring? Because I tell you what, when we sit here and you castigate one of the best, most successful defenders in European, if not world football,
correct.
Sergio Ramos, you say, look, we don't judge him on scoring goals, and we judge him on his defending. Well, so why is where's the difference here?
Was it a fault for the goal?
He didn't have to do it. No, he wasn't at fault for the goal. The goal shouldn't have been allowed. Balassi fouls Matip on the break back. He basically didn't have an awful lot to do defensively. So, what do you want me to say?
But what I would say is that, okay, you have Virgil van Dijk, right? He's supposed to be a solution to your problems. And it still was 1-0, and Liverpool were controlling the game, and somehow they allow a team like Everton that didn't do much in the match, they allow them back into the game. So the issues are still there. This is one important piece, but it doesn't solve all the issues for Liverpool defensively. They're still going to allow chances. They're still going to allow teams back in games, and we saw that today.
Conte was asked at his press conference today what he made of Mourinho saying that he doesn't act like a clown on the touchline, unlike some. And well, people thought he was referring to Antonio Conte. This is what he said. I think that he has to see himself in the past. Maybe he was speaking about himself in the past. Sometimes I think there is, I don't know the name, senile dementia, when you're a bit, then he taps his head, when you forget what you do in the past. By the way, Chelsea came out afterwards and said he didn't mean senile dementia, he meant amnesia. Jose Mourinho responded just now to that quote by saying, I don't need the Chelsea manager to say I made mistakes in the past and will in the future. What I will say is I will never be banned for match fixing.
Oh, wow.
Oops. Happy New Year, Jose Mourinho. Gab, just put this into context for us.
Yeah, so what he's referring to, and by the way, Conte wasn't actually banned for match fixing. He was banned for failing to report an attempt at match fixing. Just to be clear and lawyerly on this, but it happened when he was at Siena in Serie B. They had already clinched promotion to Serie A, and one of his players allegedly says that, you know, he said, all right, well, we don't have much to play for here, so let's just take it easy on them, because this match will probably end up a draw. That's what he's accused of saying, and he never reported it to the authorities. But it's obvious that these two are getting under each other's skin, and the 2017-18 Premier League season is turning into the year of managers behaving badly and rather like kids.
Indeed. Mourinho take it too far?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, surely, I would imagine, I don't know what the legal ramifications are going to be from Antonio Conte's side and Chelsea's side on this kind of remark. I mean, surely if there's nothing to hide from the Italians' point of view, then he has to go after the Manchester United manager for those kind of insinuations, surely.
What I would say is that, in general, if you're a manager and now you're matched up with Jose Mourinho, the one thing that you don't want to do with him is go into the media with him, because in that arena, he is the best in the world. He manipulates the press conference. He manipulates the information better than anybody else. And when it comes to a back and forth through the media, nobody better than Jose Mourinho. So if I'm Antonio Conte, I leave it. I leave it alone because I have nothing to gain from this.
Stevie?
If I'm a grown adult, I leave it. Never mind who it is or how good they are or how bad they are in the media. This is absolute child's play, and it's.
But who leaves it? Mourinho leaves it now, or Conte leaves it?
Both of them.
If somebody come in a press conference and accused you of match fixing, what would you do?
No, I'm just telling you that both of them should keep their mouth shut.
So
So you try to say, oh well, if he says that, then you can come back and say that.
But that horse is already bolted.
It doesn't matter. Listen, it makes absolutely no difference.
It does.
These two managers have got enough on the plate with what's going on at the football clubs, with what's going on the football field.
Correct.
To to start insulting each other, and regardless of who starts it,
You're calling
they should know better, and they should keep the trap shut and get on with the game.
You've now potentially gone beyond that, and are now calling into question professionalism and integrity. And I don't think if you are guilty, if you're innocent of any of these, you can stand by and say, I'm just going to let this go because somebody has allegedly or insinuated that I'm a match fixer.
I agree that Jose Mourinho has crossed the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has crossed the line.
Potentially.
But what I would...
Conte's not crossed the line.
No.
Gab, go on, Gab.
No, I just want to say, look, hey, this match-fixing distinction, I just want to be clear here. He was banned for 8 months, subsequently reduced to 4 months, for failure to report match-fixing in his own team. I mean, look, we're going to get into sort of semantics here, and this is what happens when grown men behave like kids. Because, you know, the line from Chelsea was that, of course, well, he said senile dementia, but he meant amnesia, which, of course, is a bit different.
The transfer didn't go through on the last day of the window, and that was set at something like $40 million. Officially, he's moved today to Chelsea for $20 million.
Yeah, and in fact, none other than the mayor of Liverpool, whose name is Joe Anderson, I believe, he actually tweeted out from his official account that he's going to ask the Premier League to go and investigate this. I don't think there's necessarily a huge mystery here on the face of it, because he goes out of contract in June, and so he's that much closer. He could sign with Chelsea this week for the summer, and Everton would get nothing. So it's entirely normal that the fee would go down. The big question mark is, you know, why did he pull out back in August? Because that's really what ended up costing Everton, you know, the difference between 35 million pounds and 20 million pounds, and obviously it's in his interest to do so. But you know, there's still some questions there, and people in Liverpool aren't too happy about that.
Well, there's no questions, Gab. I mean, if he player doesn't want to go in the summer, it's the player's prerogative not to do so. I mean, that's the bottom line.
But this is Merseyside we're talking about. It's not always clear cut. It's emotional. Ross Barkley obviously coming through the ranks at the club. He's seen as a local guy, one of their own. Yeah. And you know, and Everton are leaving a lot of money on the table.
But it's still down to the player what he does. On the other side of the coin, Antonio Conte seemed to be distancing himself from this a little bit today, saying, well, you know, I don't bring the players in. You know, it's a good signing for the future. I'll probably not be here anyway. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure about this. I mean, the money's nothing for Chelsea, but I'm not sure about Ross Barkley, where he's going to fit in long term.
Arsene Wenger charged today by the English FA and will miss 3 matches plus a fine of £40,000 for his actions after the West Brom game, apparently going into the referee's office to confront Mike Riley. Right punishment?
Yeah. I mean, the 40,000's neither here nor there to a manager on millions, but 3 games on the side or on the stand is certainly punishment enough. Well, I mean, it's punishment enough. He shouldn't be doing that.
Gab Marcotti is still with us. Gab, the interesting thing about this, I thought, was the fact that obviously this doesn't take into consideration what happened a couple of days ago, after he kind of alluded to the fact there's some sort of conspiracy against Arsenal after the match against Chelsea. Could he be punished further?
Potentially, yes. I mean, I think they've evaluated the situation, and we may hear something from this on Monday. It's remarkable that we're talking about this, but this sort of behavior, you know, as well as obviously the Conte Mourinho stuff, becoming pervasive at the higher end of the Premier League this year.
Is it getting worse, Stevie, or is it just the fact that it's Christmas and it just seems to be what's been grabbing the headlines?
I think Wenger's
it's Christmas and everybody's so happy.
Yeah, but everyone fights at Christmas. Everyone fights every Christmas.
What goes on in Christmas in your house?
Oh, everyone's house have their issues.
No, they don't. I mean, not in my house. No, I think Wenger's getting worse, and there's no question. I would be shocked if he doesn't get banned here.
Yeah.
Listen,
Because what he called the penalty farcical.
Yeah, and then he's alluding to a conspiracy. Referees are very touchy on this sort of thing because basically it's questioning them.
Yeah.
It's questioning.
But they're right to be touchy about it, aren't they?
Well, absolutely, and that's why I think he's going to get banned.
But to think from Arsene Wenger's perspective, that referees get together and say, hey guys, this is what we're going to do. Look, when we're playing, when you're doing a game, an Arsenal game, and there's a call to be made, and it can go against Arsenal, you make sure it goes against Arsenal. That's what we're going to do. Come on now.
Why do they speak in such a high voice?
Well, because see, this is the referees getting together.
He's just not that good at deflecting, is he?
Is that what he's trying to do?
Of course he is. He's trying to take the pressure off himself, the players, the club, everything. He's trying to deflect. He's just not very good at it.
It may just be the fact, the realization that it's getting away from him. That it's now maybe settling into like, you know what, I'm losing it.
Right.
I'm losing the team, I'm losing games, I'm losing points, I'm losing the league, nothing's working. This is not the way it's supposed to end for me. And now you start acting this way.
Do the players listen to any of this?
No, no.
Do they pay any attention to the fact that, he's alluding to conspiracy theory? We talk about how you give a player an excuse, they'll take it.
Not really. I don't think so. I think this congested fixture schedule, that's always the case in England, and we always talk about it. It's not only getting to the players, it's getting to the managers as well, because you're throwing all these games together, they're coming thick and fast, so they're seeing these mistakes, they're fresh in their memory. Well, some of them are not mistakes, but they're seeing what they perceive as something wrong against their team. Then within a couple of days, they're seeing something else, and there's no break away from it. Hell, there was even a story today in an English paper, one of the referees mapping out how far he travelled and all of the Christmas period to cover games and saying, how can you expect him to referee the game properly when he's done over 1,000 miles? I mean, they're all at it. Everybody's making an excuse here.
How does that affect their refereeing? Travelling?
Well, saying the referee, travelling tires him out. When he can't keep up with play. I mean, it's just, honestly.
You're feeding into a conspiracy here.
There's a map of where the referee had gone, all the different grounds and miles.
Mountains.
Yeah, 1,000. The game's gone mad. And then, of course, as Gav mentioned, you've got all the stuff going on with Chelsea and Man United. I mean, it's just crackers.
Welcome into Extra Time. Should we get straight to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who does Stevie think should be Van Dijk's centre-back partner, Matip or Klaman?
I think it's pretty clear that it should be Matip.
Not Lovren?
No. Not at all. No, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think the two of them will make a good partnership. It's one game against Everton. They did lose a goal.
Yes.
I don't think either of them were at fault for it.
Who was at fault?
Lovren.
I don't think you could pin one person down, but just as a group,
Bobby Madley.
they had enough players back,
Right.
and still didn't manage to stop the goal. So just
Collective responsibility.
collective responsibility.
Wow.
Thank you, Daniel.
Wow. Which sweeper keeper would you rather have on your team, Ter Stegen or Ederson?
Wow. At the moment, I would have Ederson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have Ederson.
Yeah.
Ter Stegen has had
He's a great
yeah,
season.
he's had a great season so far for Barcelona. Yeah.
There's not a wrong answer to this one. Either one's great, but I would take Ederson.
Who's the better manager?
Are you sniggering at? What's he snigger for?
Your little cliche.
Hey,
There's no wrong answer here.
Sorry.
there's no wrong answer to this one, Daniel. But I would say Ederson.
I mean, that's Donaldson. You've got into Donaldson mode there.
Who's the better manager, Conte or Mourinho? Is there a wrong answer to this one?
Who's the better manager or the better coach?
Who is the better manager?
So you thought you'd point the word manager to say that you didn't say coach. You said manager, right?
I didn't say coach.
I know, I just told you that.
Where have we got the word coach from?
Well, you were making a point.
What just happened?
He was making a point, pointing to the word manager.
Well, because you said coach and then I said manager.
Oh, shut up. Do you want to answer the question or not?
Yes.
Please.
We do.
Who's the better?
Come on, it's not...
Right now.
There's only one man. Although he's lost a bit of sparkle, it has to be Mourinho.
Yes, it has to be Mourinho.
Mourinho.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mourinho.
Mourinho. Hat-trick. There it is. ESPN.
Coach, is that coach or manager?
Daniel,
Can you point to that
there was
again?
no wrong answer to that question.
There is no wrong answer. They're both magnificent managers, but I will take Mourinho.
Who's the better coach? ESPN FC returns
That's a different
to screens,
question.
this weekend. We'll be talking FA Cup, return of La Liga, midnight Eastern on ESPN2.